So I thought I'd make this video for Michaela. So I'm pretty sure I've made this video before. I think I've made this video or talked segments of it. This video is strictly on the incident that happened when I was 18 years old, and a epiphany or a eureka or like a godlike calling I recall happened to me when this happened. And Michaela, this is whenever someone had mentioned you. This is how I found out you went to Creekview High School. When I was 18 years old, we went to a party, and this is around this time where I really didn't know some of these kids. Most of them, more than half of them, that went to Creekview. I was with Barry Pan, and there was a bunch of his other crew that he used to hang out with, and I was with Daniel. And this incident that we drove, I was with Daniel, and I don't remember, we were supposed to go to a party or something, or heard about something like this, and we happened to be driving around in the area where Rosemead Pool is and Creekview High School, and for some reason, I don't remember why, we were driving on that street, and we pulled in, and it was just about to be sunset. It was like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in Dallas, where you still probably had like another hour before the sun went completely down. And we drove into the parking lot, and I don't remember if we turned right or left right after we drove into Creekview Lane. It was literally right in front of the parking lot on Old Denton, in front of Creekview High School. And there was one car there. There was empty parking lot. It was like on a Saturday or during the summer. There was no kids. There was nothing, and it was plain in sight in front of everybody. An open area, and there was like 3 guys in a car, and it was kind of like a Civic or a Honda. Like it was like a 2-door to 3-door, 4-door car. Wasn't all fancy, and all the guys were white. There was, I want to say, 3 of them. Me and Daniel were in one car in a Suburban, and I don't remember if we smoked. I think we did, and I think he was, or at this time I think I had stopped smoking. I could have smoked, I don't remember, but around this time I had already stopped smoking. So we get out of the car like we're doing like a mafia meetup or something. It was kind of weird, like, because I didn't even know what we were doing there. I didn't even know these people. But we got out of the car, and we were like, oh, hey, how's it going? And Daniel was like going to say something to him, and he was just kind of like smoking a bowl, kind of overlooking everything, and I literally just kind of walk up to this guy. I was like, hey, do y'all know where a party's at? Or they ask me, or they approach me and say, hey, do you know where the party's at? Hey, Daniel, or something like that. I don't know. Daniel knew one of these guys, but it was only me and Daniel that I can remember that were in the car. But Daniel knew one of these guys. I don't know who it was, but one of these guys who approached me, he had real short hair. I said that he had dirty blonde hair, but let me take that back. He didn't have dirty blonde hair. I want to say he was also brown-headed as well. And he could have had dirty blonde hair, but I want to say more like a coffee-colored brown hair, bald, just real like a short fuzz cut, like a number 5 or like a number 2 or 3, just buzz cut or whatever. And he asked me, and he goes, oh yeah, Michaela's gonna be there. And it goes like some sort of sex look, like, yeah, like I'm gonna get Michaela. And I didn't know who the Michaela was. I had no idea. And he goes like this, and he's like kind of looking. He looks at me, and he goes, wait, do you have a sister named Michaela? You kind of look like her. And I swear, I promise to God, he told me this. He told me, and he said, he goes, you kind of look like Michaela. You got a sister? And I go, no, not that I know of. And he goes, and he thought that, I don't know who this guy was. It was the weirdest thing for him to even say that, let alone after he said, and I told him, I don't know who you're talking about, I don't have any sisters. he still doubted it and looked at me like he still thought I was your sister or your brother. So we were there literally 1 minute, 90 seconds. We get out of the car. He's taking a couple drags. We kind of talk. It maybe not even five. It was under 5 minutes. It felt like maybe 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Chit chat a little bit. Oh, you're going to a party. I don't even think it was that. And you know, he was like, oh yeah, we got to find out. I don't think it's going to happen, or I don't know what the issue was. I don't know if the guy denied it because maybe he thought I was your sister or whatever. So we just get back in the car and we start heading home. And it was weird because when I got into the car, look, I don't know if Daniel Box has recording devices or his parents put recording devices in that Suburban, but I think that there was. Regardless, it probably would have been for safety, and it would have been a good thing, I guess. But when I was in the car with Daniel, if there's a recording device that you can pull up on this, you can vouch for what I have to say about this. I get in the car, we're driving maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and I go to Daniel, look at Daniel and say, hey Daniel, you know who Michaela is? Michaela. And I'm just like thinking who Michaela is, because I'm like, oh, this guy looked like he was really, he was like, oh wow, this girl's really cute or whatever. Like, you know, you can kind of tell like this guy probably really liked this girl. And I was like, and I told Daniel, I was like, Michaela, what? It kind of sounds familiar, Michaela. And I'm looking, and right as we get to Frankfurt Road and Old Denton, was it Old Denton? Yeah, Old Denton Road. There's a Tom Thumb, there's a Taco Bell, there's a Marble Slab ice cream place, there's a Starbucks, there's a gas station, there's a McDonald's, there's a Sonic right in that intersection. Right after we pass that, and we're going toward Daniel's house. We're driving down away from Creekview, and we pass that intersection. I begin to think, and I say, why do I think that Michaela's my half-sister? And I say this in the car because I have no idea why this name is familiar to me. I don't understand why I'm connecting something, but you have no earthly idea that I'm channeling something with next to no information. I'm not trying to play psychic, but I remember telling Daniel this, and I said, why do I feel like she's my half-sister? And I tell this to him, and I'm confused why I even say this. I'm confused why I say this. I'm like, why do I think that? And I sort of get a vision that I think of my biological father or something. And I kind of I feel very violated because I'm like, did somebody tell me not something I don't know? So I don't say anything. I'm not hiding anything, but I kind of get this simmering idea, and I just brush it off. I'm like, nah, I guess so, man. I was like, I don't know what. And Daniel's always Daniel. He was like, Hector, I don't know, Hector. Like, he's just kind of like that. He goes, I don't know, Hector, you know. And he was just, because Daniel Box is the biggest pothead. He smoked. He had the worst addiction to smoking weed that I've ever known. I mean, he was jacking people for weed and money for weed. It was just really bad. Weed was his thing. He had to be smoking nonstop. And so anyway, at that time, I'm 18 years old. We go back to Daniel's house, and we either go back to his house or he drops me off, and that was the end of it. So I thought I would share this with you. I was thinking back on this, and I thought, Michaela, I know this sounds psychic, but I'm not playing psychic. I was going with an intuition at that time with no information. And I remember thinking or feeling, you're my sister. You are my real blood sister. You are a part of me. And I know this sounds really wild because this guy who I've never met, never seen him, none of those other two guys, because both of the guys they weren't very close to the guy I was speaking to. They were on the other side of the driver's side, and they had parked like that, and they were like right there kind of smoking or talking, and it was just one guy that approached me. But Daniel Box knew one of these guys. I don't know who it was. I was 18 years old. That's how I was tracking back my thoughts and thinking that I know that you had to have gone. I know that you went to Creekview. Because this guy, I think, said he either went to Creekview or we were in this area where this Creekview, searching for some people that were throwing a party at a Creekview High School, because Creekview High School was a very big, famous high school as well. Yeah, I thought I would make a video on this. I know it sounds weird. If they can pull up recording devices on that car, it'd probably shock a lot of people, but I have next to no information. I mean, for someone to approach me and ask me a question like that and tell me something, and I'm just in the car, and I'm in the car, and I'm like, why do I think she's my half-sister? Like, I don't even, and I'm puzzled, and that's how I'm kind of fuzzled as Daniel's driving down the street, and I'm like, why do I think she's my half-sister? And I'm like, I'd never met Michaela as a kid. If she went to Creekview High School, I had to have seen her. I bet you that there had to have been somewhere along the lines when I was 18, 15, 16, I saw her somewhere other than probably as a kid. It happened probably very quickly. She was with her friends, probably didn't recognize me. Because the only time I saw Michaela and met Michaela as a kid was in Good Elementary, and the other time was whenever I was at Albertsons, and I saw Michaela and her mother was grabbing some bread or something like that, or she was very helpful. Her mother looked like, I don't know anything about her mother, but if I were to get an impression, her mother looked like she could have been a drug addict, not a drug addict. Like she could have sampled drugs in that period of time. She looked very healthy, very professional. She looked like she had all the looks to someone that didn't look like very pretty, very beautiful woman. Very piercing blue eyes. She was German, very healthy. But when I saw her, I remember her and Michaela saw me and looked right at me. And I remember thinking, and I want to say, I don't remember if Julian was with me. He could have been. I don't think he was. He might have been. I don't think he was, though. And that's the only time. But my guess of this topic is I've had to have seen her either somewhere else, because I don't know who finally told Michaela that I was her brother. Who did? In her 20s, 30s, I don't know who did. All I know is when I'm 28 and I'm 27, when I'm 27 years old, Julian is 21 years old. So Michaela's 20 to 21 years old. I don't know when Michaela's mother could have told her, or eventually told her, or her family said, you have a brother you don't know you have. So, I thought I'd talk about that. But like I said, I'm 40 years old now. It's all to them.